Cool.
So we're going here live at Pulpit Rock. We're just having a few beers with guys. Everybody wants to maybe give their name so they can recognize the voice around there. And
Sure. This is Tyler.
This is Justin.
And I'm Bob.
all right, so got a nice afternoon actually after kind of a hellish, humid environment here.
It might rain.
Might rain, but that's all right. I'll take the rest of the humidity out. So
Right.
Absolutely.
So I'm enjoying a nice SAF gig. How about
Yeah, cheers.
you guys? Ready? All right, cool.
Hey, cheers.
Oh, and you got some water. All right.
Yeah.
Tyler's the responsible
water.
one of the group. Does it happen a lot where you're the responsible one of the group? Or
Oh,
He's
He's,
a-
he's our
irregular.
daddy.
oh, yeah. We all take turns, I think, being responsible. Some more turns than others.
that's the way to do it. So,
No, I mean, the soft tea was really delicious, though.
all right. So how do you say it? How
Soft teague.
soft tea?
It's Norwegian for juicy.
Okay. All right. That works.
The term juicy was taken
In English.
So
Yeah.
Hill Farmstead is a beer named Juicy.
Okay.
It's for well, it'd be nice to do something Norwegian. Why not?
So you guys just got done with a pretty crazy weekend.
Yeah, Nordic Fest. That was a zoo.
So were you all working, or just you, or
Yeah,
you
we
guys?
happened to have one of our busiest brew days during that Saturday. So not only was it our busiest sales day ever, the tap room was just crowded, but we were just super busy in the brewery. We had to transfer beer, brew beer, not package beer, but it was pretty crazy.
Yeah. It was full. Open to close, pretty much full. Patio and inside. And then those guys running. It was an all hands on deck sort of situation.
All right. So do you guys tend to package and brew on the same time? That's pretty crazy. If you're brewing the same day as you're packaging.
That day in particular, we were transferring the beer out of the fermenter we were putting wort into, so it was sort of a time crunch.
Mm-hmm.
So our work at 5:30, and then we didn't leave the brewery till 11 p.m. But the last probably 5 hours were just casual, having beers. So that was fun.
All right. So there are advantages to working in the business then.
Oh yeah,
Oh, a few. There's a few.
it's a lifestyle job.
So what's your position with the brewery,
I'm
Bob?
co-head brewer with this man right
All
here.
right. Justin?
also co-head brewer.
Okay.
I am not a brewer.
You're not a brewer.
No.
Do you homebrew at all? Have you homebrewed in the past?
I have not homebrewed.
No?
I just enjoy good beer.
He's our general manager.
Okay. So what brought you gravitating towards Pulpit Rock?
Well, I got a call from the main owner one day offering me a job.
Okay. You can't beat that.
And I was living in the area, and I was running a small municipal bar and liquor store in Minnesota. And I enjoy being out on the ground floor, something new.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So not to change subjects, but I was just over at your neighbors, Toppling Goliath.
Uh-huh.
I tried their turmoil. A couple that just walked past were there as well. So
Yeah.
we were talking about that. That's a pretty darn good beer. I don't know if you've had it. Yeah.
I haven't had that one now.
I thought that was
yeah.
kind of like the Bourbon County stout, but more chocolatey.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually people will come to town. It's great. People will come to town to go to a TG release, and then come here, go to the courtyard and cellar. So
Mhm.
usually people make a day or an afternoon out of
Yeah,
it.
we were just talking about that. I was talking about that with Jared, who's not here today, but we were talking about how you guys probably get a lot of business back and forth between the two.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Has it been good as far as customers that way? I mean, do you think that's helped you being next to another brewery, or do you think that's...
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, people will come down for a release. They'll get whatever their allotment. They'll have a glass of whatever,
Yep.
and then come down here, and then either go to courtyard and cellar or go somewhere else in town. So it's sort of like a beer tourism thing,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which is really important because there's really nothing close to us. So
Right. Yeah.
So it honestly helps to have more options for a consumer.
Brings more people into town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you guys are definitely totally different from over there, and I mean, you're different
Try
from
to be.
like Single Speed in Cedar Falls,
Yep.
or 515 or any of those
Yeah.
guys. I mean, you definitely have your own identity here. Was that something that you really thought of when you were creating your beers? Or you just like, I'm going to brew what I want, and people will show up or they don't?
Well, that's actually something Justin and I are working on right now. Basically, just trying to crank out new, either new recipes or techniques we want to try out. But in the end, stuff that we actually really want to drink. So, yeah, like we try to have something that appeases the customer, but at the end of the day, we're greedy and we want to drink our own stuff.
Yeah. All right. That's cool.
It's fun too. Just how many beers? So just shy of a year.
40.
I think we're up to 40 right now.
And have brewed 40 different beers that we've had available
Okay.
in the tap room.
We got a lot more coming. We have notebooks of ideas that we want to do, but we just haven't gotten around to it. Because right now we're at max capacity. Like a beer leaves the fermenter and we fill it up either that day or the next day.
So what, you guys at a 7-barrel system now?
Yep. Yeah, we have a 7-barrel system
Okay.
with 4 7-barrel fermenters and 2 7-barrel bright
Okay.
tanks.
So there's not a lot of room in your little place here.
It is a submarine.
So
We have to think. We sleep with the torpedoes and try to figure out where to put everything. You'll routinely see kegs just stacked in front of the door.
yeah.
The keg washer's on wheels. It moves everywhere. We
Yes.
think we're the only brewery to have a mill on wheels because we literally cannot have an actual dedicated space for it. So
Okay.
you might see Justin milling outside.
I drive by about 8 a.m. You'll probably see me out here.
I toured Millstream years ago, and theirs used to be in the attic, and they had to use a rope and pulley system to get the grain
boy.
up to the attic.
Yeah.
They had like an old scale that was probably 150 years old that they weighed everything on, and Chris was pretty cool to show me around there. But
Is there something unique about a brewery? It's like it's never like perfect. You have to work around something, and ours is space.
so we're getting interrupted here by fire or search and rescue or something. I heard some ambulances go by earlier, so
It doesn't happen too often right here. It's a rare sound.
It's usually pretty quiet.
Uh-huh.
So what made you guys choose this location? This looks like an old gas station or service shop.
It was an old dairy depot.
It's an old dairy depot,
I think
right?
it was
Yeah.
a service shop at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, so these were actually garage bays.
Yep.
And like Tyler said, we were just approached by our now boss, like, hey, you guys want to do something potentially in this building? And at first we thought he was crazy, but started thinking about it, looked at the space, we were like, no, we could actually make this work. So the laundromat's in front
Yeah.
of the brewery, like that's still like an independent business from the brewery, but we shared the building, and I guess our biggest challenge has been space, but
I was just going to say space. So you thinking trying to take over the laundromat, or maybe move, or stick it out here for a while?
maybe we do own this lot over here, which we could actually add on to the brewery. We did expand the patio. I don't know how many square feet it is now, but we got
About double what it used to be, which
Yeah,
was,
it's quite a bit bigger.
it was
from-
20 by 40.
you can definitely fit more people outside.
Yeah. Which has helped a lot.
Yeah.
And I was here one time where you had a little tap out here where they could buy 1 or 2 beers
Yep.
out
Yeah,
here,
that's
and then
kind of
the
an
rest were in the.
ongoing thing. It really depends on demand.
Yeah.
Like
So
we
for Nordic Fest, we had
definitely needed it.
3 beers on tap being served on the jockey box out on the patio.
Okay.
They just get really crowded in the tap room when it's super busy, so we thought it would be more convenient for people to just like, hey, I want a soft egg. I don't have to go all the way inside.
And you're one of the few breweries in Eastern Iowa that has the crowler.
Yeah.
So you
Yep.
guys use that. I saw quite a bit this weekend.
Yeah, we actually sold a lot of crowlers.
So we kind of took a different approach to it. Wait 1 second. So, typically breweries or tap rooms, bars, restaurants, stuff like that, will just fill the crowlers on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Just
We were
right out of the faucet.
Yeah, we also have growlers available, 32 and 64 ounce growlers. We wanted to kind of set the crowlers apart. So actually pre-fill everything ourselves, just to make sure that the fill is good, the quality is maintained, so you're getting the freshest beer possible. And then we're also using it for kind of small batch special releases. So we've done a couple double dry hopped
Yeah.
soft teak variations, planning on doing
Coffee.
different coffee and pour over, just things like that. Just kind of keep the rotation fresh, keep people interested.
We really want a canning line, but we have zero space for it. Like, there's no way we could even fit it in anywhere in the building. So yeah, growlers are like our only option to have fun with cans, and in the long run, it's actually a better package to go beer over a growler. So
You don't want to kayak with a growler.
yeah, yeah, it is a river-friendly package. 25 ounces for you.
I would just say as a consumer that I've been gravitating more towards cans lately.
Yep.
Got some four hands in cans recently, and I was on vacation out in Wyoming, and Melvin Brewing does a lot of their stuff in cans. And or I got this stainless steel growler. Been using that quite a bit too. So
He got me a hydro flask with the 18 ounce.
Yep.
Similar to that.
Yeah, so this one's a 16 ounce, but yeah, it's double walled and insulated and
Keep it cold forever.
Yeah, it's great. That's the way to go. So you guys just do it all ahead of time, and then when it's out, and you don't worry about growlers anymore.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing
So
far.
Like right now, we've kind of only released stuff like on Fridays or Saturdays. We try to target like when people are actually going to be around or in town to buy it. So our anniversary party coming up August 20th will probably be the next big growler release. So we're hoping to have Loopy Lynn, one of the double IPAs we make, and then a couple double dry hop versions of some other beers, and then the special coffee version of Pour Over Porter.
So what's going to be different with the Pour Over Porter?
It's like a single origin Malawi coffee. I don't know, we're super excited about it. Sean from Impact Coffee is roasting it for us, and I don't know, like we've had many cups of it and we really like drinking it, so we like trying out new coffees and beers. Like Pour Over usually changes every time, like the blend changes a little bit, but we almost always have the Impact Light Ethiopian. Do you remember what type of Ethiopian?
Ethiopian Yirgacheffe. It's a custom light roast.
Okay.
Usually use like a 50% blend of that, and then another coffee of just kind of whatever we're feeling that day.
Tef's the resident coffee snob, so we all like coffee, but he knows more than anyone.
And it's paid off.
It has paid off.
I've had it twice now. Both times have been fantastic. It's great coffee beer. So.
Yep, we actually have a batch. Yeah, so one batch, almost ready.
I saw that. I was hoping to be out today, but not quite ready.
Next week. Next week. That's another problem, like trying to satiate demand, like which we really appreciate, but like we just cannot keep up making beer. Tyler has to field calls all the time.
Yeah, the waiting list of places that want to serve our beer gets longer every day.
Well, it's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
We just don't want to make people mad. It's
Yeah.
like, we're sorry, we just can't do it.
Yeah, for the most part, everyone's very understanding.
So are you limiting your accounts then, just so you can keep the main accounts?
Yeah,
Usually,
we're not adding any more at this time, but what we have told folks is, if there's a day where we have an extra sixtel, we'll let you know. And if you got room for it, we'll get it to you. But that's so rare that will happen, especially like soft tea. It seems, as soon as one batch gets packaged, that fermenter is full again. It's one fermenter basically dedicated to soft tea only. The demand is so great for that beer.
There was one day we were brewing it and kegging it simultaneously.
Perfect.
Cannot keep up.
So can you tell me, I just saw you guys were in, was it Cedar Rapids with Need Pizza?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me about that beer.
The beer, the anniversary beer.
Oh, yeah, the anniversary beer that you did for them,
So they came up, we kind of made just sort of like a simple double IPA like we usually make. And then that was dry hops with Citra Mosaic and Warrior. Something like a combo we've never done before. But yeah, it seemed to go over pretty well.
Yeah, it was delicious. It was. There were a lot of people. So Need opened at noon on that day, and they didn't tap the keg until 1. There was quite a number of people there waiting for that beer to get tapped. Now they were enjoying a soft tea while they waited, so they weren't suffering too greatly. But,
So how long have they been your account that they asked you to do the anniversary beer?
So they opened 3 weeks before we did, basically.
Okay.
And I believe it was in the early spring.
I remember like He told us they were coming up.
Yeah, I'd been talking with them over email, and they said, would you mind if we came up and tried a few beers, and they bought a keg? I said, not at all. Well, they showed up, and they left with 7 kegs, I believe.
Yeah, at the time, it was like, who are these people? That's the biggest sale we've ever had.
And so it's been a really great relationship ever since then, and
they're super nice, and their pizza's really good.
Yeah, cool spot to hang out too.
I'm a clam and bacon kind of guy.
Yeah.
My favorite pizza there.
I just brought back a spicy white with pineapple, spinach, and jalapenos.
All right. It's funny you say clam and bacon. My wife's family, every Christmas, we do a chopped contest. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Chop Show, where they give you 3 ingredients and you do it.
Yeah.
So this year we actually had clams and kale, and I think it was Cheez-Its. So I did a clam and bacon pizza and used the Cheez-Its to make the crust, mixed in with the crust. And I won this year, so suck it, Chad. But yeah. So that's fun pizza making.
Yeah, they have they do a lot of fun stuff down there.
Yeah, I just did a regular pizza crust, but just crumbled up some cheese.
Oh, it's like how the hell did you make an actual crust?
Just to add a little bit of cheese flavor to it.
Cheez-Its seasoned crust.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Plus bacon.
You can't go wrong with bacon.
No.
And I don't really care for clams that much, but it worked. And it was canned clams from that one too, so you have to really hide that.
You didn't
flavor.
use fresh?
No, it was we had to use canned clams.
Oh.
Yeah, that was specific as the ingredient. So, I don't know if you've ever seen them. They've done one where they had to use a canned chicken. Whole chicken in a can. It's just a big glob of chicken nastiness comes out of the can.
For a chicken beer?
What?
Chicken beer?
Oh yeah. Wow. It's a difference. No, who did that? So there's a old recipe, like 1830s, something like that, like a British recipe about a cock ale, like an actual rooster ale, where you put it in the kettle.
Just throw a whole chicken in the boil. I don't know that we could get away with it these days, but
Well, what Dogfish Head just did the lobster beer. But
maybe. Well, I mean, people make oyster stout. I don't know. Like once it's an actual
oyster
animal, people probably, the animal rights groups probably be after us, and then any sort of like food safety thing.
I've had an oyster stout, and it's not as bad as you'd expect. It was salty, but not.
Yeah.
It wasn't ridiculous.
People should do that. They should do an oyster goza. Salty.
Might work out. Yeah.
Oh, I'll write that down.
It's been a while.
Put that in the book.
Yeah. we have this notebook of any idea that pops in our, like a name for a beer, any sort of concept, or any beer idea. We write it down before we forget it. So we just have this whole list that we go back and just kind of giggle, like, why did we put that?
I was going to say, how many of them are just absolutely ridiculous? Like, nope, never going to put that on there.
Doesn't matter. We just record it. Whether we use it or not, probably.
So 10 years from now, the History of Pulpit Rock book will come out, and you'll have a chapter of that stuff on there.
The ideas chapter. The good, the bad, the ugly.
It's a pretty weird one.
So you guys all from the Decorah area, or what brought you to this area other than working here, obviously?
I'm from West Union, a half an hour south.
Yep.
I'm from Dorchester, about 20 miles east of here.
Okay.
I'm from Ames / Des Moines.
All right. So you came the furthest.
I've never been there.
You downsized where everybody else kind of upsized a little bit.
Yeah.
Tyler likes to trout fish, so he came up here.
Yeah. I came up here trout fishing the first time in 93, 92. Fell in love with it. Finally moved up.
So is there a specific spot that you can broadcast where you trout fish, or do you not want that going out as
it's no secret. I spend most of my time on North Bear and Waterloo. Those are very popular spots. But
I actually, the last 2 years, I have not gotten my fishing license, but previous to that, I'm huge into fishing. That's actually what got me into homebrewing. Was I would go fishing 5-6 nights a week with my friends. We lived in Davenport. We'd go out on the Mississippi or the Rock River in Moline. And then my wife got pregnant. I'm like, oh crap, I need to find something to do around the house. I'll start making beer.
That's probably the best
baby beer.
So
that works, right?
Why'd you start homebrewing? Because my wife got pregnant.
Yep.
Okay.
So, but I've never been trout fishing. We did a ton of catfish and a bunch of bass fishing. Some walleye here and there. But.
Yeah. It's a totally different animal. Oh, the fish are, obviously.
Right.
The style of fishing is completely different. Not completely different, but presents different challenges.
It's elegant. It's like ribbon dancing.
So do you fly fish then, or do you still reel?
I do fly fish and also ultralight spin.
Okay.
Just kind of depends on where I am, my mood.
Because I've got an uncle in Colorado. He actually has a cabin up in the mountains, and he goes fly fishing there. And talk to him about sometime visiting him and bringing out my gear. He's like, "Oh, you can't use that crap here."
Yeah, I'm not a purist. I don't look down on people who spin fish. Like, you're out here fishing, good for you. You know, have fun with it. And yeah, I mean, fly fishing. I've done some fly fishing on the Wind River in Wyoming. And that's totally different. I mean, big wide river. You can stand out in the middle. You don't have to worry about getting hung up on tons of weeds and trees, brush.
So we were out by the Snake River.
Uh-huh.
We stayed about a mile away from there.
Okay.
We did a raft tour on there too, and it's one thing I didn't get to do was fishing, but man, that'd be a blast.
Yeah.
We were in Yellowstone, people were fly fishing, and a buffalo crossed about 10 feet in front of one of the fishermen. He had to stop reeling in and just back up with his hands up in the air slowly.
Yeah.
Didn't know if he was going to charge or not.
It's your river.
I've got a friend of mine he used to be a fishing and hunting guide all the way from Alaska down to Mexico. And he had this great video. I swear it's on YouTube somewhere, but I can't find it. When he was on Kodiak Island, Alaska, he had these clients out and they were salmon fishing. And all of a sudden there was a bear on the beach eating what they had caught so far that day. So the video is him walking backwards. He had told his clients to go the other way, just yelling at the bear, "Get out of here! Get away! It's my fish!" While walking backwards. Pretty entertaining.
So do you guys fish too, or just leave it up to you?
I used to love fishing. I haven't been fishing in a long time. I'm hoping Tyler here takes us sometime. Whenever we have free time, which is very seldom now.
Yeah, pretty much same here. I used to fish the trout streams growing up in this area quite a bit, but not for many years now.
Apparently we got black bears and some cougars.
I've seen bear track.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose it's not just rattlesnakes anymore. Now we have
So are there rattlesnakes in Decorah area?
timber rattlesnakes.
Yeah. So I grew up in Dubuque, and we had them. I was out in the country, and we had timber rattlers all the time. They're pretty docile. You had to really mess with them before they go after you. But
We got deer ticks.
oh yeah,
I got Lyme disease. Once.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully in remission. I don't know. A couple
right.
of years ago, had the whole bullseye. My shoulder started feeling super sore.
had to take the doxycycline for 6 to 12 weeks.
Yeah, so I made sure. Asked the pharmacist 3 times, I can drink alcohol with this, right? They're like,
they will tell you you're not supposed to, but
they cleared. It was like,
they
okay,
did clear it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fine.
That's a good pharmacist. Most of them don't clear that. Actually, I work at a vet clinic, so I deal with Lyme disease quite a bit. So I've got 2 dogs. They're both on flea and tick, so they hopefully don't ever get it. But you guys got any pets?
Well, take care of pets. So my fiance and I are caretakers on this farm, and they've got 3 dogs and 3 cats.
Okay.
The cats are all outside, but the dogs come in at night. But yeah.
You guys?
Girlfriend's got a dog.
Girlfriend's got a dog?
Yeah, my fiance has 2 dogs.
2 dogs. All right. We got 2 cats, and I was just at work the other day, and a client came in and said, "There's a kitten in your tree." So we went outside and we caught this kitten, and so I'll be taking that one too. But it's loaded with ringworm right now, so it's not coming in the house until we get it cleared up.
That's fun.
I may or may not have a spot on my arm, but we're treating it just to be careful. It might just be dry skin.
Do you just use the vet meds for that then?
It's actually the same thing. It's just like the athlete's foot cream. I mean, you can buy it from us for $10. You can go buy it from Hy-Vee for $2.50.
All right.
Now we know.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Cats, you want a shampoo. There is a special shampoo, but we're going to get his claws off first because he's not very happy about that kind of thing before we can shampoo him.
Give your cat a bath, take it for a walk.
We can go open another beer here quick and go grab one of those guys.
Whatever you want. So
we have Jester King, Petite Prince, or Fantôme. Either the Printemps or their regular saison. And I think we know where the corkscrew is, so we can get the Fantôme open.
Yeah, we found it. You found it.
Did you?
I didn't find it.
Oh,
Somebody found it.
I was Swiss Army knife with the corkscrew too.
Yes.
So I always carry the
Always
corkscrew.
I don't know, like it's always annoying when you have the cap and the cork beer. Cause you're like, crap, we don't have a bottle or a corkscrew.
That's fine.
Somebody found it.
Kid Anderson?
It went missing. Kid Anderson. So the other brewer is currently working the tap room right now. It's like he started working, like we'd all worked before.
So did he win or lose today? Having to work the tap room or be on the podcast?
Well, he's scheduled, so
okay.
I don't know. He usually wins when he works in the brewery.
He's always winning.
He might come out if he has a.
There are some people that are just like that always win.
He'd probably disagree with that, but he's not here right now.
He's a lovable guy.
So how long have you been brewing, Justin?
I started homebrewing back in 2010 with one of my roommates from college. I just kind of fell in love with it.
Okay. So did you do school and training too, or just go straight from homebrewing to work?
Yeah, I just happened to kind of fall into a commercial
So you said you did production before. Where was that at?
Here.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So did you do the brewing as well as the canning and all that kind of stuff? You kind of probably do everything in a small system like that.
Yeah, I was one of the assistant brewers out there, and just kind of, got my hands into everything.
Okay.
So I wasn't like one, I wasn't particularly like set doing, cellar tasks or anything like that. Just kind of a little bit of everything.
So what brought you started into homebrewing? What was your...
I had a bunch of friends that did it, and I actually moved to San Diego after college, and there's a phenomenal beer scene out there. So I was like, it's like
in San Diego it's not bad.
Drink some sweet commercial beer, and it's like, might as well dabble in making it too. I was like,
So how many Pliny's have you had? Have you had quite a few of those? Or?
Oh, it was readily available at a grocery store within walking distance when I lived there.
And the burritos.
Yeah, just a Pliny burrito. Just living the dream.
Pliny's kind of like my white whale. It's the one beer I really want to try. I'm sure I'll be disappointed once I have it, but it's like, I got to try it at some point.
It's good.
It's been...
I mean, it's the benchmark of every
it's
double
definitely
IPA.
good. I mean, you hear it's kind of one of those hype train beers where...
Yeah, it's never going to be as good as
Sure,
what you...
yeah.
It is a very good beer.
Yeah.
Like I said, Vinny pioneered double IPA and, really the modern sour beer movement, so helped pioneer.
Do you mind if I smell the cork?
Yeah.
So Tyler just asked to smell the cork, so...
Oh, yes. Yes, we'll take a
Don't know if
bottle of
that
that.
tells anything about him, but...
Got a Fantôme Printemps spring.
Would you like me to get you some fresh glass?
We should actually.
I'll go get it.
Okay.
These guys are proper here. Jared and I usually just use the same glassware over and over again.
Yeah,
We've done
get these empties out of your way.
We've done podcasts out in his garage with neighbor dogs barking and humping and stuff as we're recording and
It's a bunch of traffic.
whatever.
And
Yeah, sirens and traffic here, so a little different. So, Dogfish Head is, for me, what really kind of opened me into craft beer.
Oh, cool.
My brother-in-law, he started home brewing and kind of forced me to drink his stuff, and was kind of started to get me into stuff. And then pale ales was kind of getting me there, and I've got family out in Delaware, so we just happened to stop at the Dogfish Head brew pub one day for lunch. And
Going in Milton? Is it
Yep.
Milton?
And my family lives in Milton, but Rehoboth Beach.
Rehoboth.
Yeah. So we stopped in there and had lunch and tried their pale ale and their shelter pale ale, I think it was, and it was pretty good. And then I tried their pumpkin porter.
Mm-hmm.
At that time it was 15 years ago. I'd never heard of a pumpkin beer before.
Right.
Blew my mind. And so I kind of bought like 5 different beers from them when I was there on that trip and brought it back and just explored. And then I just I gotta start brewing this crap. This is ridiculous. Because you can't buy that in Iowa. Not 15 years ago. It was. I mean, now that stuff you can buy, but you couldn't then.
Right. Probably beer trading wasn't as big as it is now.
I haven't got into beer trading. Have you guys do that at all?
I used to do it, occasionally. So, I have other brewer friends, and so we usually trade each other's beer or other beers. Otherwise, we have other friends that are big traders, like, oh, you gotta try this, or whatever. Like, oh, can you get me a bottle of, something from TG, or, can you get some of your beer and, trade it? So
pass them over.
It's pretty cool. But there's so many breweries opening up
everywhere,
all over now that I think will honestly probably, I wouldn't say a death of trading, but probably be.
This one's for me.
Going big.
Higher quality beer all over the U.S. that's more readily available.
More readily available, absolutely.
Yeah. It's like, look at Decorah. It's like we're 2 breweries in a small town.
Yep.
It's like Des Moines blown up. I mean, our friends at Signal Speed, they're going from a small brewery to a huge one. 20 barrel system. We have
that'll be great.
Tons of friends all over. Like we're friends with the guys at Alluvial. They're being cautious right now, but they're basically maxed out as well. Like
I've only had a few from Alluvial, but I'm
they do a great
really
job.
excited about what they're doing. Those guys are good.
They're a really, really cool brewery, and their location's beautiful.
Yeah.
They literally have space and obviously the demand for growth. So.
All right.
Yeah,
So that's when I need to stop by the tap room sometime.
Tap
absolutely.
room's really nice. And then
Ask for Petey or Matt. They're both cool.
they finished that fire pit outside.
So Austin at Single Speed's always been really good to me.
Oh yeah, he's our friend.
I had some beers with him several times.
We've been drunk with him. Love you, Austin.
So one of the, I guess not the last time I was there, but one of the last couple times ago, I was with Dan Weber. He's the
Chef Dan.
He's actually the third brewery. I guess he's brewery supervisor is his official title for Dogfish Head beer.
Oh, sorry.
But he's from Cedar Falls. So last time he was in town, I bought him a bunch of Iowa beer, and he brought me a bunch of Dogfish Head beer, and we met there and had a few beers with Austin, and it was a good time. Very cool guys. But we were there a year and a half ago out in Delaware, and Dan gave me like a 3-hour tour. Just took me around.
3-hour tour.
It was I know it was amazing. We weren't lost in an island, but it was pretty crazy.
Literally a 3-hour. We've done a few tours in our brewery, but it's pretty funny. Like, 'cause we have.
You turn around, everybody
like,
look to the left, look to the right.
That's
it's so packed in there.
You basically see everything from the windows.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way Single Speed is right now too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sort of a zooery.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So did you do the tour to tanks this year?
Yep, we did.
Oh, we did, yeah. We were also super busy, and there were a couple of people that came up for it, like specifically for that. They got an extra lengthy tour, not 3 hours, but we tried to spend some good time with them. And then we've done special tours for other groups before, and we really enjoyed more the Q&A aspect rather than like pointing to a vessel, be like,
Sure.
That's the mash tun. We do this in that vessel. Which is
Probably most of the people that have toured before know what your equipment is.
so it's sort of just either redundant or people don't care enough. And so it really starting to open up when there's sort of like a rapport, like they ask questions, we give, honest answers. And that's when tours become really fun. Or if people are a little buzzed, that's great. Then the real questions are.
So what are your favorite couple of things about working at Pulpit Rock or any brewery in general? What do you think makes it stand out? Like, this is what my day is for.
Kind of the freedom to make whatever we want now. Yeah, and that's sort of going forward. Be as creative as possible, and sort of just make beers that we're super excited about, rather than trying to keep up with like a production schedule. We might not have the same brand every week, but there's something in the tank, and I don't know. Hopefully you like it, but majority of people will. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's the most satisfying aspect. We don't
Rather than people demand
have
certain
anybody
brand.
kind of over us like saying like, no, you need to make this beer all the time. It's just kind of like Bob said, like week to week, sometimes day to day, we change plans, change the production schedule, or kind of whatever we feel like making. Keeps the draft list fresh. It keeps people interested and excited about our beer.
Yeah,
we do want to have some brand recognition, obviously.
We're also not really set up as a brewery to, be a production brewery in the sense that we always have like certain core brands all the time. Like right now, I guess the only core brand we definitely have all the time is Softig. But other than that, it might be a week or two before brand's back, but we do have plans to make it. It's just trying to fit it in.
It's hard to squeeze everything in. Sometimes.
Yeah, try to keep 8 taps filled with only 4 fermenters. And I don't know, and the demand from the accounts is just sort of like if one brand, like if we have one IPA on that goes out, the other IPA gets hit, and all of a sudden we don't have any more beer.
So you were telling me before the podcast that you switched a little bit of the Softig. I think you mentioned you switched the yeast a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of backlash at all from your fans or your customers?
Maybe, but if anything, we've gotten more support because of that decision.
Yeah, we hadn't been particularly enthused by the yeast character in Softig for a while, and we decided to make the change, hoping for the best, and it seems to have paid off. At least in our minds.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has been like, no, this beer is terrible now.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. If anything, it seems like there's more support for it now.
Yeah. It's like
we're always striving to make the best possible beer we can. We make calculated decisions if we're changing the recipe. We're always kind of tweaking recipes, but that's a pretty major change in a beer. But it seems to have worked out for the best.
I noticed definitely more citrus in it this time from last time I had it.
Yeah.
It was good before. I really liked it. No offense to anybody, but I enjoyed it more today than I did last time. Not that I didn't enjoy it last time, but it was just that much better. So it definitely elevated it, I thought. So,
It also comes down to hop, like when you talk about IPAs, obviously, like the quality of the hop, sort of like any form of cooking, like the quality of the food comes down to the quality of the ingredients that are used. And so if you don't have quality stuff, the end product is not going to be of quality. So when we first opened, we didn't have any we have hop contracts set up now, and we actually have a good supply of nice quality hops. But when we first opened, we did not, and so we tried to not make so many IPAs starting out. Or if we did, they were on a small scale, like a homebrew scale, basically, because we could buy enough homebrew stuff. But like at the time, there's no way we could make like a double IPA when we first opened over a year, like almost a year ago. They would just wipe out our entire supply of hops for a year.
So as a home brewer, I haven't noticed too much differences. I suppose every once in a while supply and demand, but I haven't noticed personally difference in flavor. Like if I go get nugget hops from 3 years ago to today, I'm not really necessarily going to notice a difference from my local homebrew shop. Are you guys finding differences when you're buying?
Absolutely, 100%.
Year crop year to year,
and lot to lot.
Even within a particular year, there's huge variations, lot to lot.
Yeah, people talk about terroir and grapes. Like if you look at Burgundy, they have all their little parcels separated: Grand Crus, Premier Crus, Village, all that jazz. These companies will have lot codes from certain fields, and for some reason, certain lots, certain crop years taste better than others. So it's one of those things where if we find something we like, we try to allocate as much of that particular hop as we can.
So you try to stick with the same suppliers, or is it just particular?
Well, yeah, there are only a couple companies that make. So, for example, like Hop Union has Bread, Citra, Mosaic, kind of like all the hops that everybody wants for IPAs.
Yeah.
But other companies have started carrying those. Yeah, it's all kind of trial and error. Just because a new hop year is fresh doesn't necessarily mean it's better.
Sure.
So like we're really into some 2013 crop year hops right now.
Okay.
It actually works out in our favor because people are trying to offload them because they're super cheap because they're getting ready for this upcoming harvest. So kind of works out in our benefit.
So you just buy frozen pellets and then hang on to them and use
Yeah,
them.
yeah, that's actually the best.
Yeah.
Still don't understand why there's such a huge market for the whole cone or whole leaf hop. We know Sierra Nevada's really big into it, and obviously they're a very successful company, but we find better quality with pellets, like a lot of brewers do across the board. And they're easier to clean up.
A lot easier to clean up. I can attest to that.
The majority of our job, we're glorified janitors.
Yeah. Not having all your hoses clogged up with the whole leaf hops. Yeah, I get
boy.
that.
I mean, pellets are bad enough on our heat exchanger, but I just spend a decent amount of the week if we're brewing, cleaning the heat exchanger. It's just every day we brew something, start cleaning it that day, maybe pack with caustic, re-clean it the next day, or we have to tear it apart. We're very anal about cleaning. Like, things have to be perfectly clean. So
That's a good thing.
it is a good thing. We try.
So
Yeah,
I was talking to Justin earlier about how I had done my fresh hops, and I do. Last year, I think I had about 8 pounds of hops in this beer that I brought today, and I did about a pound in my mash tun, and then I did about a third of the rest in the beginning of the boil, third at the end of the boil, and third dry hop. And that was just straight nugget hops. That's all I did.
Okay, cool.
There's probably about a 3/4 pound of Mount Hood that I got from one of my other plants, and that was about it. So this year I'm going to do another IPA. I'm going to do lower, not a 12% like that one. That was kind of crazy. Do kind of more like 7%. And I'm going to go with Nugget, and I'm going to buy some Galaxy hops. I'm a huge fan of Galaxy hops, and I think that's a good combo with the two. So any kind of advice you can give for that one? I'm really kind of looking for a nice juicy IPA, I guess you would say, that New England style, which I think that, I don't like that term. I don't know about you guys, but I think that New England style kind of irritates me because I've seen a lot of Iowa breweries been doing that for years, and that just kind of...
Yeah, we loosely call Softig a Northeast IPA because we wanted to try to differentiate it from...
Well, Northeast Iowa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's actually a good term. Yeah, we should just do that. No,
so we can keep the NE, just not the New England.
Yeah,
we just need a Northeast Iowa.
NEIA. We try to make all types of IPAs, like Justin said. Like, he used to live in San Diego, and it's one of the beer meccas of the world, and especially for hoppy beers. And so they have, the more clear, maybe a little bit more slightly bitter IPA, but still can be juicy. It's also another funny term, like juicy.
It is kind of weird.
It's sort of just like describing an alcoholic beverage as smooth.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's so smooth. It's like, you really don't have any other descriptor besides that. It's so smooth. So like juicy's become the new IPA descriptor, so everything will be juicy. Galaxy is one of those weird hops that, depending on the crop here and the lot, a little can go a long way. That's something we found. Obviously, we're big fans of late kettle additions, and then just jamming as many dry hops into your fermenter as possible. And then it really depends when you dry hop, like the extract, like the type of the hop, how much you're adding, and the total extraction time. It's just, we literally go by taste, so it's like a day-to-day thing.
So you're tasting it as you dry hop it to see where you're at.
It's, like we dump the hops in next day, or tasting like, okay, it's coming along. Day 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Everybody has their own technique. We know we have other brewer friends that recirculate hops. Like, I don't know if that's a possibility for some home brewers with like a plastic bucket, but some people do that. Others are not a fan. Like, we personally don't do that, at least currently.
Tell you, I'm lazy, so most of the time I dry hop in a bag, so it's as less messy as possible, so it doesn't clog my filter when I'm transferring over.
A good idea. So we do that, and then like cold crash, like after like this is done dry hopping, then just if you're fermenting in a modified like freezer or refrigerator or something like that, then just chill it or just put it in a cooler somewhere if you can. Try to chill it down. When people talk about haze, it's like the beer isn't already hazy at that point. Usually chill haze will set in. You get that nice Northeast Iowa look. It is really funny. So like we want to try to make as many different styles of beer as possible, but IPAs are obviously super, super popular, and we love them, but we don't want to just do IPAs.
Right.
And it's crazy the amount of really popular breweries there are these days that look at their lineup and it's like IPA, pale ale, hoppy wheat ale, double IPA, triple IPA. It's like, all right. And we are also one of those, but we try to branch out a little bit. We're kind of hoping for the calamity of the summer to slow down so we have a little bit more free time to start experimenting again. So we really want to get into more farmhouse beer. Like, so we're drinking a Phantom right now, and they're one of the idols, if you will, kind of by everybody. We want to get into bottle conditioned saisons and sours and stuff like that, but we don't have the time right now. We also want to do a barrel aging program, and we might try to fit barrels in the...
Just gonna ask you, where the heck are you gonna put barrels in there?
We're gonna get very creative, which we've had to do with space. So, yeah, we're looking to do that in the future. So. The Taff here is Justin, his last name's Taff, is getting married pretty soon. We're gonna make a double IPA for his wedding.
All right, congratulations.
Tyler's also getting married next year.
All right.
We're gonna make a beer for his wedding.
Doppelbock.
We'll make a Doppelbock for you. I don't care. It's whatever you want. It's your wedding beer. That's one of the perks. Working the brewery. Get your own beer.
Just throw it out there. I got a great caramel coffee Doppelbock recipe today. So just
Let's do it.
I used Starbucks caramel coffee. It was better the first year than the second year, but I actually won my awards off the second year. But the first year they did it as a dark roast, second year they did it as a light roast, and it was better as a dark roast, I thought. But did that for the Beers to You in Waterloo.
I've been there.
Yeah,
Like
I've done that a
years
couple
ago.
of years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got fan favorite for that one. So,
Cool.
But yeah, that's a good Doppelbock. You can't go wrong. Nice.
Doppelbocks. Flavored
Chocolate
coffees are always
roasty,
fun.
Yeah.
Teff has this this website that has all of these different flavors that we want to try out, like cinnamon bun, chocolate chipotle,
Oh yeah, there's
any and every flavor.
endless amount of flavors.
So is the coffee place you work with here in Decorah?
Yep.
They're local roasters and everything?
Impact Coffee. They're really nice people. It's a family business. We have their nitro cold pressed coffee on tap. Usually have a pint of it every morning. It makes me very jittery and
Absolutely.
very awake very quickly. Can't drink too much of it. Once you get into the second pint on a raw stomach, you're like, just zooming around the brewery. But it is super tasty and it's nice to have, especially on a hot day when you don't want to pull hot coffee.
Yeah.
Super good coffee.
I can tell days like today, I didn't have one until noon. That's why I'm feeling so down.
Or other days
I haven't
you
had my fix.
too much and your heart's racing. But it's nice some days, like, we're in a hurry to do something in the brewery, put on some black metal, have some nitro coffee. Like, we gotta get stuff done.
All right, so there you go. What do you listen to in the brewery when you're brewing?
It really depends on our mood. A lot of hip hop.
A little bit of everything.
If I'm in a sour mood for whatever reason or in a hurry, put on black metal. Then that's usually followed by Wham to come
Wham,
back off
nice.
come back off the black metal high.
All
You're
right.
like, nope, back to reality. Let's be a nice person. A lot of hip hop, and then I don't know, just kind of anything, everything.
So you thinking newer hip hop? Are you going older hip hop? You doing a little
We
bit
like
of
Wu
both?
Tang, kind of Minneapolis groups, Atmosphere, Brother Ali.
Yeah.
Teff introduced me to good hip hop. Before that, listen to crap rap. And there's a big difference. A lot of Nas, stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that. So,
Stillmatic, one of the greatest albums ever.
Rakim, all that. Yeah, and then Mike, our other brewers, he's really big into metal, but he's sort of our resident music nut, so he'll usually find something to put on.
I used to work radio when I was in college and throughout, and did DJing too for dances and weddings and stuff for many years. And so I'll listen to anything from Wham to, I've seen James Taylor in concert, I've seen Counting Crows, I've seen Metallica and Korn and Rob Zombie and all that stuff. So yeah, it's fun just to, whatever suits your mood, just kind of go crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
It makes brewing or whatever you're doing that day much more fun.
Yeah, it is actually really nice listening to music while brewing. Kind of puts you into a certain mindset. It's like either like, oh, it's chill, the day's almost over, or it's beginning of the morning. Let's get going here.
Blow this out.
You guys have much
Totally.
New Glarus? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Old Bruin? This is our Old Bruin. Jared, who normally does podcasts with me, was up there a few weeks ago for the release and brought back their gauze. And it was
nice.
a blend. I guess one that they did like 3 years ago mixed with one that they did 1 year ago, and then they aged it.
Sweet.
I actually haven't had mine yet. He brought me one back, but I had him pick me up this 12-pack while I was there at the Old Bruin. I don't know if you've had this one yet, or Enigma is the other big one like that.
Yeah.
Enigma might.
Enigma is like the base of all their fruit beers.
Yeah, that might be my favorite beer of all time.
Super good.
Yeah.
I can still have one bottle of their blackberry sour, which is really good.
Thank you.
I
Gotta finish that.
gotta chug my Phantom.
Bob's slowing us down here.
Bob's a slow beer drinker.
I
It's
usually.
the reason lunch takes so long.
Yes.
If Bob orders a third beer at lunch, you know you're in for a long session.
Can't drink beer after I eat. So full.
It does make it hard. Yeah.
I can drink wine or a cocktail, but not beer.
That's when you switch to whiskey after you eat.
Oh yeah.
Yep, after breakfast.
Right after breakfast, I suppose.
There's 1 year in college for St. Patrick's Day for breakfast. I had Lucky Charms and Baileys.
Ooh, that's delicious.
That actually sounds pretty tasty.
Lucky Charms, though, that seems a little...
I tried to go for a very, very St. Patrick's holiday. A lot of heart, a lot of Guinness, some Smittix, obviously Jameson.
I think I may be one of the only ones in the country that doesn't celebrate St. Patrick's. I'm 100% German, so I don't.
Yeah, full.
Come to our Oktoberfest.
I can drink every day. I don't need a special holiday.
It's a day
That's
that
really
ends in
only,
Y word.
it's only the Americans that celebrate St. Patrick's Day that way.
I would never go to Ireland and say something about a car bomb. Probably get punched immediately.
Uh-huh. I used to work at an Irish bar. It seriously soured me on St. Patrick's Day.
I have a friend in Davenport who
Really good.
was part owner of an Irish bar, and that was their biggest day of the year. They'd would have midgets skydiving in leprechaun outfits over the brewery. It got crazier every year. Yeah. He sold his part out now, and he owns a different bar, but it was pretty insane.
I suppose we could try that next
I
year.
don't know.
Maybe just
That's an insurance liability.
the green beer.
Would a Norwegian leprechaun be different?
I don't know.
A gnome?
Yeah, a gnome.
Pointy hats might be dangerous when you're jumping out of a plane.
That was my witness. I thought gnomes could fly.
Yeah, no, we have a bunch of fun fests coming up. So we have our first anniversary here in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks.
2 weeks from Saturday.
Yeah,
Said
so
August 22nd.
20th.
20th. So
Okay.
technically our anniversary is 21st, but we're gonna basically go with from here on out the Saturday closest to that. This year's the 20th.
So what's going to make people want to travel from Cedar Rapids, Iowa City to come up?
We have a
come see for
lot
that?
of special beers being released today. Some in growlers, like to-go options. We have an anniversary glass. All of the spent grain we've been giving to Justin's fiance's family is going to be converted into a hog that's been roasted all day. That's
nice.
For free.
So your fiance's family does farming, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they kind of have a customer appreciation day. Just
Perfect.
Come, get some hog meat and
hang
drink
out.
some beer.
We have our double IPA Loopy Lynn available on draft in Crowlers.
That is absolutely worth a 6-hour drive. I'm telling you that now, okay, guys?
That's high praise. I mean, thank you. We try to be humble, but
I had it at the Iowa Craft Beer Fest.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And that was 4 hours of nonstop drinking, and that was definitely top 3, if not the best beer out of the day.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, right up there.
Good job, guys.
Thank you. That was a fun festival. Then we have a small batch stuff. Like once we actually get our barrel program going, we might have more volume of Imperial Stouts. But right now we have another batch of Pudgy. It's going to come out. It's our Nitro. It's going to be Nitro Imperial Stout aged on 4 different types of vanilla.
Oh, nice.
And then we have a Mexican-style Imperial Stout, sort of inspired by beers like Abraxas from Perennial. If anybody likes sort of a Mexican, like a spicy...
So a little chili in there.
Yeah. Actually, it's a fun story that beer clogged our heat exchanger, the actual dry chilies. We're pretty sour about it for obviously that day, and then a couple days afterwards. There's a lot of black metal after that. Would not come clean. Eventually we got it. There's cinnamon, chipotle, and ancho chilies in it. Cocoa powder, and currently it's aging on Mexican vanilla beans. We're about to package it pretty soon. And then we have, for the Joy of Almonds, our kind of candy bar.
I've heard great things about that one. Haven't had it yet.
Nitro Stout. I don't think we're going to put the Mexican, it's still to be named, but the Mexican style Imperial Stout. I don't think we're going to put that one on Nitro, but the other two for sure are going to be on Nitro.
So is that one, the Mexican one, is that going to be really spicy? Is there just going to be a kick in the back? Or what do you think? I've only had light chili beers,
right,
and I've hated every single one of them.
So yeah, we use dry chilies, and those are actually in the boil. Reason why it ruined the heat exchange. We're like, oh no, it'll be fine, it won't go through. And then we paid the price for that. Has a nice cinnamon note right now. It's aging on the vanilla. Hopefully it's not too much vanilla, because Pudgy is basically all about the vanilla. People talk about it or describe it as like a toasted marshmallow. I think that's pretty neat. We always thought it was too much vanilla.
When is that one coming out? I'm all about vanilla.
The same day.
Same day.
It's all. We try to have some sort of emphasis for people to come here, because usually people come to town for Nordic Fest or maybe like a TGB release. We're like, hey, maybe come here for us.
When they come have Mabe's Pizza. I've actually never been there. They're really good.
Mabe's is huge in this town.
I'm from Dubuque, and then I lived in Davenport, so Happy Joe's was huge for us.
We've got a Happy Joe's.
We have a Happy Joe's. They also deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, they deliver, so you can drink and eat right here in the tap room or on the patio.
We actually encourage you to eat while you're drinking.
Absolutely. That's what I'm going to do when I leave here before I drive.
And drink water.
The 45 minutes home.
Drink plenty of water. It's free. We got Gardettos. We got water. Board games. So we have those beers. We'll also have a witch beer, hopefully, if it gets done fermenting in time. This time, in the past, we've done it with Meyer lemon. This go round is grapefruit, white peony tea, and coriander, so like the classic wit beer spice. We bring back Patio Party, the session IPA. So it's like 100% Brett, orange juice and zest and Citra. Everybody loves Citra. So really low in alcohol, just something super crushable. Raisin Resin's coming back. It's one of Tef's babies. Sort of like a red hoppy beer. I don't know if it was inspired by Furious, but somewhat similar. It's very good.
Somewhere along those lines.
Yeah.
Easy Lover will be back.
Easy Lover, yeah. We're going to be good about publishing stuff on social media about what we're actually going to have.
I did want to insult you guys, but I did want to say Northeast Iowa breweries are lacking on social media. And I want to see more of that. And
want to see more lacking?
If there's something, I want to see more social media. And if there's something I can do to help you out with, I'd be happy to do it. I'll put it on podcasts, I'll put it on my blog, I'll put it on my Twitter, whatever. But you guys are doing some really good work here. Single Speed's doing good work, Top and Goliath. But I think there's more of a need for good guys like you to put the word out what you're doing so that more people know about you, more people drive up here and want to come up here. I'm on so many beer groups in Iowa, and all they talk about is Cedar Rapids and Des Moines, which there are some fantastic breweries in there. I mean, Alluvial's great, 515, I could live in that brew pub and be totally happy. And they're posting all the time, and I'm not seeing it from you guys, and I want to see it from you guys, so...
I'll take the blame for that one.
Well, we occasionally put stuff on Twitter.
You can contract me out for a growler or two here and there. I'll be happy to help whatever you want to do.
I think I tweeted 3 times. That's pretty good for me.
You're the spokesman, though. I mean, you can hear you talking. You got the voice. You're talking about. You know what you're doing.
He's the Twitter spokesman. Although Mike, who's working the tap room right now, is quickly becoming our social media guru. He loved it. He's big on Instagram.
All right.
He's big on Twitter.
Instagram just threw in this whole new loop yesterday. I don't know if you saw it. They're doing like Snapchat videos. I don't have Snapchat. I'm too old for that apparently. I don't know what that is, but Instagram's competing with them and they're trying to blow them out of the market.
Whoa.
Snapchat wouldn't sell to them, so they're doing little videos. I don't know, but anyways, yeah, I would love to see more of what you guys are doing, so I know a day-to-day basis.
Well, there will soon be adding to the things that we have to do that we may or may not actually follow through on.
Welcome to small business, ladies and gentlemen.
We're a startup, all right?
A Periscope.
Periscope,
Whoa.
crazy.
I don't even know what that website is.
So we can actually,
You can watch it live, and then you have like 24 hours to see it, and then it's gone, right?
Yeah. We can do some live, like, hey, we're brewing,
Some selfies while you guys are brewing, right?
Totally. We thought about wearing...
Justin's got the brewer's beard going.
He does.
No, he fits right in.
Fit the profile.
We call ourselves the Beard and the Boy. Like, you go to Craft Brewers Conference or any sort of beer fest, and it's like either they look like him or look like me. Like, one of two extremes. I always usually spot beer people, too. Like, hey, you probably live in breweries well. We're really good friends with a lot of breweries around state. Like you mentioned, 515 Barb there's making some awesome beers. Hoping to do a collab in the future. We've done a collab with Single Speed and Alluvial. Hoping to maintain those relationships in the future. I'm usually the one that wants us to do like collabs with everybody and just lines up too many, so now we kind of have a backlog of people we have to hang out. And it really depends on the brewery. It's like sometimes most collab brew days just end up, if you're the guest, like you just stand around and drink.
Yeah. I could see that.
When we were at Alluvial, I think we played more Tetris than anything. Just like Petey's over there just like mashing in by himself, and we're all like, all right, let's open another beer, Tetris time.
So did you talk about stuff ahead of time and have an idea, or was it just go there?
Oh, that brew day in particular was pretty funny because the power got knocked out halfway through the brew day, but luckily they have a gas-powered system, so they didn't shut that off. Like ours is a steam system, so if the power goes out, like our boiler's gonna shut off, and we would basically be dead in the water. But Matt ran and got a gas-fired generator, and so they were able to keep the pumps running on their system. They were able to keep that going. But yeah, usually when you go into a brew day, it's like, oh, we're thinking about making this type of beer. Sort of like have yays or nays on the recipe, and then the day of, it's like you take the photos. Usually the guest adds the hops to the boil, maybe grains out, otherwise just sits there and yaps about something.
So either Tyler's fiance showed up or his
that's Liz.
Unknown girlfriend, so we won't say here, but
I don't know that one.
It's his fiance and his mistress all in one.
All in one. All right, so totally unrelated. Hulu, Netflix, TV, what are you guys watching right now? What are those hit shows that you just can't miss right now?
Can't wait for Sherlock to come back.
Sherlock?
That's
Oh,
really good show.
I've never seen that one.
Oh, it's addictive.
Definitely check that one out.
Okay.
I finally finished Twin Peaks. You remember the,
Wow.
the
Oh,
19
yeah. That's right.
Girlfriend and I were
Nothing like being on time.
yeah. I mean,
25 years later.
It's a good show.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Haven't been really watching much lately. Been rewatching The Office.
Okay.
There's a solid choice.
Well, sticking with the Norwegian theme, I just watched the last episode of season 4 of Vikings.
Oh yeah.
That's a fantastic show.
Actually, we might name a beer Ragnar,
Ragnar?
or at least have a character on the glass, like a Viking, since like this is a very pro-Norwegian Viking town. Have that maybe be like a symbol of the brewery. So we have like a long ship as part of our symbol. So it's
So I
fun.
was just asking what shows you're watching, Netflix, Hulu, whatever,
Oh, yeah.
regular.
Well, we just wrapped up the most recent. Well, this is on Netflix, so we're a little behind the live broadcast. But we finished up the first half of the last season of Hell on Wheels.
Oh, that's a good show.
Yeah, we finished up season 2 of Bloodline, which I didn't think was as good as season 1. Didn't really hold together as well for me. And then, The Americans.
Oh, that's good. That one I need to get caught up on.
Yeah, big fans of that show.
They just put Homeland out on Hulu. I don't know if you guys have that or not, but
There's so many shows.
I'm about like
Yeah.
8 or 9 shows deep on Homeland. I'm kind of addicted to that one.
Yeah.
Another Period from Comedy Central. Have you
Oh,
seen that?
so funny.
That one is one of the best shows on TV. in my
No
opinion.
votes
That
for
is-
women.
Oh, God.
No votes.
They're releasing week by week right now, season 2 on Hulu. So I've been watching that as they
Chair.
come out. Chair, yeah.
I gotta get into. Is it Nuts has been talking about it? Stranger Things.
Oh, Drucker, yeah, was also on that.
Yeah.
He watched that in a day.
all over social media. I
Yeah.
watched half an episode
Uh-huh.
and I was kind of bored with it, and I haven't gone back to it. But everybody on social media is saying how great it is.
Yeah, I check it out eventually, I guess.
I don't know.
Once it gets cooler. I don't want to be.
Yeah, it's hard when it's nice out and you want to get out and do stuff
Yeah,
in the
totally.
summer and you're going all over.
So we watched Longmire too, which is kind of fun. Old Walt.
It was good. We watched any like Vice Media stuff. They have a channel called Munchies, and so they have all these fun shows. So I usually like to watch Chef's Night Out.
What do they call
Usually-
it? Munchies?
Yeah. Like around like 15 minutes.
What are you into after work?
A lot of box lunch. But no, like they have a separate show within the umbrella of Munchies called Craftwork, where they do all of these brewery interviews, and I think they have. I don't think they quite have 10 yet, but like Tired Hands was one of the people interviewed. Sam from Dogfish Head, they interviewed them, and it's kind of cool. Too. Nice little insight into the brewery. I like watching stuff like that.
Here's an interesting question. McKellar, I've heard they're kind of brew whores, and they want to go around and do collaborations and have you pay them big money. Have they come talk to you at all about doing a collaboration?
They did one with TG
Right,
now.
right.
I don't think we're. I don't know if we'll ever be on their radar. I mean, he bought a vineyard in Mosel. It's like a Riesling vineyard in Germany. So he's got international money. I don't think he needs to come back to any Iowa for us. But if he wanted to, we would definitely oblige.
But apparently he wants to charge you quite a big money to do it. That's the word from my inside source at Dogfish Head, who said
That's
that
a
Sam
smart
told him to
business
go
move,
walk
I mean.
away.
Basically paying a promotional fee.
Yeah.
You're going to be attached to McKellar.
Yeah. I got to say the one from Toppling Goliath was pretty darn good. Was the Nelson something.
Schnelson?
Yeah, I did enjoy that one.
Our friend Chris Flinker
Yeah.
helped brew that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good guy.
I
Good
follow
beer.
him on Twitter.
Oh yeah, he's an awesome guy. No, I mean like collabs are usually fun.
Justin, I think I followed you twice on Twitter. I think I followed you previously at your old position and then now here. So
I don't know if I was on Twitter before. Maybe I was.
I think you were, just for a brief time.
I actually use it.
Not that I'm stalking you or anything.
I actually use it.
Not that your bedspread is blue, but whatever, you know.
Hey, he put it on the internet.
Fair enough.
It's up there for anybody to see.
Oh, the internet. All right, so mental note, I need to get better at social media.
We all do.
Let's blow it up.
I'm going to tweet 4 times this year.
4 times. I mean, honestly, I think to be out there, you got to probably tweet multiple times a day. And I know that's boring because you don't necessarily have anything to say, but you got to make shit up. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, even if it's like your filter getting clogged or something like that, just throw something on there to show that you guys are alive.
Again.
Yeah, you know.
Hashtag Mondays.
Yeah. Got to throw in some sort of stupid hashtag, right?
I think if I keep tweeting, it's just going to be mostly made up of hashtags.
That's the game.
That's all right. Yeah. And you'll get all the teenagers following you.
We should just do a hashtag challenge. We can come up with the most absurd hashtag.
There we go.
I'm sure to get 20.
You got to tag PR Brewing.
Yeah. Tag PR Brewing and then hashtag ridiculous hashtag.
Yep.
Do you want to try the Jester King? It's only 2.9% alcohol by volume.
Really?
I need to go.
Okay.
But ironically, today was the first day I need to take 2 weeks off before we go to North Carolina. I'm not going to drink a drop of alcohol.
Whoa.
Where are you going to North Carolina?
We're going to eventually we're going to Cure Beach for my fiance's very good friend's wedding.
Nice.
Along the way, we're going to hit Cleveland, Asheville.
Who hits Cleveland?
I got to check the ballpark off my
Okay.
list. And then I think I have about a third of the ballparks left.
All right. I say there has to be a reason you're going to
Yeah.
Cleveland because nobody's just like, ooh, I need to go to Cleveland.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? No, I don't
Can you
care
go
about Rock and Roll Hall of
to
Fame.
Wicked Weed in Asheville?
We're going to go to Asheville for 2 nights. And then we're going to hit Durham and then the beach for 4 nights.
Outer Banks, North Carolina, are very nice. And
Yeah.
like Kill Devil's Hill, that area,
Yeah.
very
So
sweet area.
Yeah, after the wedding, Cure Beach is a little further south. It's about an hour and a half. But my very good friend, who will be my best man at our wedding, his family has a beach house about 20 minutes south of the Outer Banks.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll go there for a couple nights after the wedding. And then begin the drive back. But it's a beautiful drive for the most part.
It's not bad until you get to Indiana.
Yeah,
And then it's
exactly.
crap from there on out.
Take it to Indiana.
Indiana and Illinois are
I
about
mean,
the worst drives you're ever going to
No
find.
offense to anyone in Indiana or Illinois. But yeah. So. But, well, I have to step away.
We'll
What?
be here as long as you want to talk.
No, we're whatever you want. If you want to
Yeah.
have another beer, you want to cut it, we're good. Whatever you want.
You might be, well,
Justin went to
more-
go get us one more.
more Fantone. The mystery that is Fantone.
And I might take you up on that social media stuff.
Hey, anything you need help
It's,
with,
it's
I'm
one
happy
of
to
the
help.
too many hats I'm wearing right now.
So, hey,
It
thank
is
you very
always
much.
the-
I really appreciate it, Tyler.
Absolutely.
But seriously, if there's anything you need, just let me know. I'm
Okay.
happy to help.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye, Bobby.
Bye, Dad.
Almost a little hug exchange there.
Oh,
from
there's-
those two.
there's
Oh,
hug.
here
Oh,
it
there
is.
we go.
Bringing
There
it
it
in.
is.
Father, son there.
Be a good boy tonight,
I
Bobby.
will. I
Not
will.
too much box wine.
No, no. Oh, it is warm.
The humidity's kind of come back now that the breeze has died down.
Yeah, it's really sticky. We made so we were really busy last Saturday for Nordic Fest. It was just a really long brew day and a long day here. We thought as a little treat to ourselves that we would make tacos. It's like we keep a little grill back by the glycol chiller in the back.
Yep.
And so like I'd made carnitas the night before, like I'd roasted those, and so cooked those up. Tef's really good at making guac, so and also makes the tortillas themselves. So
Oh, nice.
we had a little collab of food, and then just kind of hung out, had some beers, and had tacos. It's one of those, like you talked about,
Chopped?
another period.
Oh, another period. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
they talk about like all meal. Sometimes we usually only have like one meal a day.
Yep, all meal. Yep.
They're like, we'll just get so busy at work, and you can't just like all of a sudden stop. Like we usually wear like nitrile gloves or something like that. And, like you can't just like stop and eat a burger quickly. Or if you do, you just feel like crap. Cause,
Right.
Like, you know, you're like, super hungry, and then hungry.
Well, I'll say you guys are both appear to be pretty fit, so you must do stuff other than brewing, or is it just strictly the brewing that kicks your ass every day?
Just standing.
Just standing.
Not really.
Carrying 50-pound
Yeah.
bags of grain.
That
We
like
just
yeah,
live on
we-
the like keg and grain diet and just drinking mostly.
top 3 beverages consumed by all of us: water, beer, and coffee. Probably in that order. Maybe more beer.
I think I'm right in there with you.
Actually, sorry, take that back. And wine. It's probably a 4th, at least for me.
For you. I could tell you're a wine guy. I can tell by the way you're talking. You're getting all fancy and sophisticated. That's over my head.
Terroir, yeah. No. It's really like wine. I mean, you can go. That's the funny thing when you talk about beer and price points. I mean, it's starting to get, starting to creep up and up. But when you talk about quality, for sure, it's worth it. It's like we're working, like our price point as a small brewery, and we have to be competitive with other breweries. But still, like our margin is completely
Very
different
small.
than like, let's say, a 100-barrel brewery.
Yeah.
We try to remain competitive, but there's no way that we can keep our margin the same as theirs. Quite often, theirs is probably actually better than ours. And if you have a quality product, people are willing to pay for it. Like if you look at like Casey Brewing and Blending, like they make some of the best beers in the world. It's like some of their bottles, are like $36 a bottle. But it's like it's worth it though. I mean, like the cost that it takes them, like the time it takes, for that beer to age in barrels, the cost of like all the fruit, like all these things add up.
So I'm going to do a first ever here, and I apologize. I'm going to go use the restroom.
Yes.
And you guys are on your own.
We will not curse.
So if we have you can curse all you fuck you want. I don't care. If you have dead air though, that's on you, Bob.
Okay.
Because you're the talker. I want to hear more from Justin, though.
I know.
Like, I'm going to come back and I'll replay this, and I'm going to hear some weird shit from Justin. Just like, whoa, I didn't know he was so deep.
All right, during the bathroom break, Justin here is going to talk nonstop.
What do you want me to talk about, Rob?
Just say something.
We're gonna go ahead and open a Le Petit Prince from Jester King. Nice 2.9% Saison.
It's a very good beer. They're a good brewery. I think a lot of people aspire to do what they want to do. So Justin, tell us about your upcoming wedding. Are you scared? Or are you scared about the beer we're going to make for it?
I'm concerned that more about the beer than the wedding.
That's good.
So, I'm ready to roll for the wedding. I'm oddly calm about it.
He's going to get a new suit, right?
I am. I'm gonna go probably pull the trigger on it later today.
I'll give some more drinks. So Justin's getting married. We're going to make basically whatever he wants to make for a wedding beer. Happens to be a double IPA. Tell us what you want to put in the beer. I mean, what's the grist composition? What do you want to do?
It's gonna be a very simple grist. It all really comes down to the hops. I had wanted it originally named Loopy Lynn Stink Juice.
But I was a jerk.
This beer may end up being that beer. So I love just the stinky, stupid high alpha hops like Columbus, Summit, a little bit of Warrior. We're absolutely in love with Eureka right now. It's one of those newer hop varieties of the Pacific Northwest. It's kind of like Columbus and Nelson Sauvin had a little baby, but just super earthy, super dank, stinky.
It's very tasty.
So yeah, maybe a combo of all those fun hops. but then just, pushing 8% and just stupid drinkable.
You get you all juiced up for your wedding night. Are you prepared to lose your virginity?
I am indeed.
Cheers to that.
Tim's going to have some interesting stuff to listen to.
All right, he's back.
Oh. So are we going to have a record for most shit talked about a host while he was gone?
No. We talked about his wedding.
Oh, his wedding, all right.
Upcoming wedding.
Wedding and wedding beer.
And when's that coming up?
September 17th.
Oh, real soon.
Yep.
It's an open house.
Yeah, everybody's invited, open bar, let's go. We're just kidding, people.
Now we will have, whatever beer we make for the wedding, for the reception, we'll have on tap here as well.
So
another,
Probably at least a barrel for the reception.
yeah, a fun double IPA.
a double
With
IPA for the
yeah,
reception, all right, nice.
something real stinky.
Because that's what weddings need.
A real stinky beer.
High octane beer.
Yeah. I think my wife and I sang the Barbie song from Aqua at our wedding.
Oh boy.
We could probably get him to do that.
Not quality beer like Pulpit Rock being served there, but
It's always funny, like venues. So he's lucky they booked Courtyard and Cellar. Come on.
so that's just the one just
Yeah.
down the road, right? Before you,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
A friend, Nathan Motter, operates that, and they were lucky to be able to rent that out. And as far as we know, we get to have whatever alcohol we want available for purchase.
Yeah, always a super good selection. Another reason to come to Decorah.
It's actually the two beers that we've opened. We've purchased from there.
Okay, so they have a selection on tap as well as purchase. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
before,
So they
right?
keep a small but well, like to use the term, well curated tap list. They only have 8 faucets, and it's ever changing. But they always have a lot of to-go sales. Then they also have bottles, like you could buy these and drink them there. But they do a lot of to-go stuff. So if there's ever some sort of event in town, Nathan is always smart about stocking up on whatever. They recently just got in this Jester King, but only 2.9%,
I don't think I've ever had a beer that low.
and it's still actually tasty. That's another fun thing about,
There's actually flavor to it at that low percent.
yeah, so like this Fantôme, 8% compared to a 3% beer, basically.
And you guys have a really low one right now, your English mild, right?
Yeah.
Usually comes in right around 3.5%.
So was that intentional?
Yeah,
That,
like
to
we
go
try
that low?
to have as low alcohol beer as possible, and then we also have Easy Lover coming back. Not quite that low, but usually somewhere, depending on so there's always some batch to batch variation, but somewhere between 4 and 4.5%, right around there.
Is that the Citro? No. That's not the
yes.
Citro.
It was originally
Yeah.
Citra Mosaic, and then we kind of shifted gears to Soft Tea. People saw Easy Lovers more as a summertime friendly beer.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we shifted it into. The Soft Tea is kind of year-round Citra Mosaic Simcoe IPA.
Yeah.
Bringing Easy Lover back just kind of for our first year anniversary.
So we stopped in probably close to Halloween last year,
Okay.
and you had a Citra hop one without it in it. It was a lower alcohol.
More than likely,
More
yeah.
likely the
Yeah.
Easy Lover.
Yeah, so-
we didn't actually start producing Soft Tea until December.
Right, I didn't think that one was available.
Had to have been, yeah.
So I've seen 3 groups of people at both breweries so far today. So I can say that as a consumer, it brings me to this location because I can stop at 2 different places and get 2 totally different kinds of beer. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And then,
Your tourism's a thing?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Des Moines is ridiculous. You got to get a bus or something to go around there because there's so many of them.
Oh, for sure. It's actually a problem. When you're friends with other brewers and you show up at their brewery, it's you better not be driving. So they're just gonna be and you gotta try this. Like Bill Heinrich, when he was at
Big Grove.
Yeah.
Oh boy. He's one of the most generous people we've ever met. Just
He seems...
here you go. Yeah, try this. Try this. Try
Never
this.
like, a short pour. It's like,
A
have a full pint.
A full glass of this imperial stout. It's like, buddy, we gotta go.
I just know from social media that he seems like an incredibly nice guy.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
he's super nice. Actually, he was one of the people that helped us get off the ground in terms of hops and just advice and everything like that. So, great guy. He's doing his own barrel thing right now, like barrel.
Yep, kick shop.
Yep, and blending. So, really excited for that. Also excited for Mardo Brewing. He's out of Sioux Falls, so he's gonna do a lot of fun mixed culture fermentations, bottle conditioning, stuff like that, sours, saisons, it's really cool. He actually has his own little culture that he has stepped up from wild capture.
Really?
So that
nice.
It's kind of like the new trend. So we're drinking this Jester King, right? That's actually great that we're talking about Mardo right now because we're drinking this Jester King beer, and Jester King started out using clean, lab fresh pitches of yeast, but then they started doing all these serial repitchings of these lab purchased yeast, and then started kind of putting in bottle dregs. Over a period of time, they kind of have their own unique culture, and that's going to be. And then I think they added in some wild capture stuff as well, and that's really what we see the trend being.
Yeah, like the New Glarus Old Bruin.
Yeah.
That one was wild capture, and there were wild capture.
It's going to be the new,
pretty crazy stuff.
The new thing. Yeah.
So years ago, I did a farmhouse saison type style where I did my mash, and I literally I did partial mash, and I just put my cooler on top of the fridge and let it sit for 2 weeks. And then I boiled it out and did the rest of it, and just nice little, about 4.5% blonde beer, just a little bit of weird sourness to it. That was a pretty crazy experiment. So is that something you guys kind of leaning towards with your sour type stuff, or are you doing totally different kind of sours?
So we do some clean kettle sours right now. We're looking to do more of those, but then, yeah, we would love to do barrel fermented stuff. It's just like we mentioned right now, we do not have the space or the ability to control the environment around the barrels. That's also super important.
Yeah.
You can't just put a barrel in the boiler room and expect it to, turn out fine. So hoping maybe if there's either some sort of expansion, or we just kind of, more than likely, we're probably just going to move things around the brewery to make it happen. Just because we're so desperate, we're very passionate about it.
You're going to have walkways over barrels and under barrels and crawling on your hands and knees to get stuff. Yeah.
It's going to be weird.
A couple of on chains hanging from the ceiling, yeah.
We may put barrels in the tap room, but we also don't trust people enough to not screw with it.
I totally would not trust the consumers.
Yeah.
As a consumer, we're idiots. We are going to mess with shit, so you can't have it in our hands.
Well, especially if you have a barrel with, so some people will either drill and tap in a nail for a sample, or people have actual valves on there. I don't think we would trust people with that.
No, definitely not. Be gone.
I don't even trust myself.
Yeah.
I'm not just
hey, let's try it.
That's fair.
That's one of the things, patience when you make beers like that. You just kind of gotta, we've had those batches of Pudgy and the Mexican Stout aging for months now. We just kind of forget about it. We're all right, yep. We're going to have these high-octane Imperial Stouts on a hot August day. It's going to be great.
Now, I will be out of town that weekend. Actually, childhood dream, I'm taking my son to see Weird Al Yankovic in Madison. So you think those will last till the following weekend?
Maybe.
Or are they totally going to be out, you think?
I doubt.
We just have such a small quantity. Both of those.
Yeah.
And are you going to do any growlers worth?
So,
can I pre-order a growler and have you set one aside, or a crowler?
We would, but any of the nitro beers are, since they're on nitro, we can't, at least we don't have the technology to package that. So we can't do that. And the Mexican Stout, we are literally probably going to only yield a single 6-barrel. So we
wow.
We pulled one of the batches we made, I don't know how many months ago, a pour over, we pulled off like 15 gallons of the first running, so it was already like, what, 1090 specific gravity?
Higher than that.
Maybe 100 specific, like really high gravity wort, and then just started boiling it and boiling it and boiling it, and just kind of cooked it down. So super viscous, like a big stout, and it was a total experiment. It still kind of is, but it tastes pretty good, so I think we're gonna sell it. But those, yeah, we're probably not gonna package. Maybe in the future, like if we actually do the barrel scheme that we want to do, that we're planning to do this fall, winter, when it kind of everything cools down. Probably have some bottled beer, maybe.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
That's a big maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it also might be in the barrel for upwards of a year. We don't know.
Sure.
However long it takes for the beer to be good.
I've done a lot of research on starting a brewery. I brought that, $80 starting a brewery book and all those other ones like that. And I thought, oh yeah, I'll do those liter flip tops and start all that. And then you look at your buildings and your permits and
Oh boy.
oh wow,
It's
insane.
It's a lot of hoops to jump through.
There's a lot of hoops to
Like
jump
you
through.
really, like, we were lucky that we had a great team of people together. Like everybody kind of had their specialty. But yeah, when people open up breweries, it is no small feat. Certain cities have different ordinances that you have to follow. Like we're friends with Fox Brewing, Brian Fox in Des Moines, and what he was saying he had to go through to open up his brewery there. It's like he was one of the only people that was determined enough to actually open up there. So yeah, it's a lot of legal paperwork. I mean, like even after you open, there's still a lot of legal paperwork you have to keep up with. It's not just like it starts off as like a glorified hobby, but then it
Right.
And people always say like, oh, well, it's not really a job. Like, well, it kind of is.
Turns into
but I
paperwork
really
on
like
paperwork
it.
on
Yeah.
paperwork. So what brings you guys back every day?
Just sort of the ability to make, or basically the dream of the beers we have yet to create. Like the ambition that we have is just like, we're going to show you guys, we're going to make some good beer in the future, we promise. I don't know. And the ability to listen to whatever music we want to listen to.
Yeah. I guess it kind of comes back to the freedom. Kind of, we alluded to earlier, just kind of come in sometimes that week or even that day, like,
Not knowing.
yeah, with not knowing, well, what do you want to make today or what do you want to make this week? Just kind of really all up in the air. Like, we don't, with the way it's set up right now, we don't really have a production schedule. Like, we need to appease our distributor. We don't have a distributor.
Yeah, basically as long as we keep our fermenters full.
And you guys are delivering all your own kegs and everything right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I mean, if you even signed with it, like, usually when you sign with a distributor, you have to have, like, a minimum volume
Right.
that you're willing to sell, and it's like, we can't promise anything.
Yeah, on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah,
So
just
we
like-
might have, a keg or two, or
And like, so yeah, like,
please wait a week.
if you can, please. So we're
Does that keep you up at night? Going, oh crap, need pizza and wants more kegs, and I don't got any for my room right now.
No,
Most
it's
people
not.
are very understandable about it.
It's usually like the actual like ongoing beer. It's like crap. Like, is that beer gonna overcarb? Or like, I hope I know we turned the glycol onto that tank, but I hope it's okay. Like there was one day not that long ago that for whatever reason there was a quick power outage and it tripped our glycol chiller, which we've had no issues with before. It was a very high quality one. And all of a sudden the glycol running through the system, which is usually sub 30 degrees, was at 70 degrees, and we're like, we got a big problem. So yeah, that's another thing in the brewing world is like, okay, you're cleaning stuff all the time, but it's also like, what's going to break next, and when are we going to have to fix it? How soon are we going to have to fix it? Like, we've had a lot of issues with some of our brew house pumps where it's like, oh crap, that's gone down. What do we do now? Sort of just like split second, like, oh, what do we do?
How do you keep the production going with,
Constant.
not not
failure.
everything running properly.
There's always something going wrong. We just don't always know what's going to happen. And then we fix it and then something else happens. But that's kind of with all life. And everybody.
So this is a terrible question, and you can answer with multiple answers, but what's your favorite beer, whether you brew it or somebody else brews it? And you can give me
Definitely
two,
not
three,
something
yeah.
that we make. I'm usually the one that just hates on all of our products. We're usually pretty hard on ourselves. I don't. It comes down to like your mood. I mean, really, I really like kind of like a typical modern beer geek, where I really like, hate to use the term, but juicy IPAs. But then saisons and sours, but also a nice lager on a hot day is also something that's nice. I'm not really a person that's going to sit down and crack a bomber or a 750 of Imperial Stout and enjoy drinking the entire volume of it. Like, I like a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Is there a certain
them,
beer when you're traveling that you just got to try to get a hold of?
Depends on where we're going. Like, there's certain beer. Like,
Yeah.
I was definitely like when we first got into brewing, or like when I first got into beer. One of the first beers that really turned me on. Don't tell my mom this, but I was 19 years old and I tried Duvel for the first time. Shh! Don't tell mom. And I was like, holy cow! This is an 8% beer. This is going to go great with beer pong. It was super tasty. It was in a 750. It was corked. I was like, I love the opulence of the bottle, the taste of the beer. It was like, holy cow, did not know this is the other side of Busch Light, which we were raised on.
Not in Iowa, no.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. I don't know. It just really depends. It's really nice to have a lot of friends. So if you go to if you go to a friend's brewery, like you don't even like say anything. They just start handing you beers.
Yeah.
And usually, like it's sort of like if you're a friend with a chef. It's like you don't order off the menu.
Yeah.
They just start bringing you
They just
dishes.
bring you what they're proud of.
Yeah.
How about for you? Is there something that you just seek out when you're out and about, Justin?
Not anything in particular. I guess I always kind of gravitate towards IPAs. I do like picking up those big chewy stouts and like Bob. Not that I'm gonna.
I like a little bit, not
Pound
like
down
a
like
lot.
a 750.
But every
by
now and
myself,
then,
But yeah,
yeah.
definitely gravitate towards an IPA stouts.
Is there anything you've had in the last year, either of you guys, that just like, oh crap, that's really good, I need to get more of that?
Well, like I said, like Casey Brewing Company, Troy Casey. That dude is a living legend right now. They work very hard. I was fortunate enough to, one time in TG, to go to Treehouse. Like, their IPAs are really good.
That's one I just keep seeing online that just
Yeah,
look
like-
ridiculous that I gotta have.
Yeah, they're actually really great guys too. So it's like we'd never experienced that before visiting there. Like that there was such camaraderie between everybody in the brewery. They're like, oh, everybody can have a say, and everybody is solely focused on the quality of the beer. Like it was kind of really eye-opening and a really fun experience. I don't know. Steph's got a great homebrew recipe that we're doing right now. They're actually gearing up for, once again, August 20th, our anniversary party. But it's a plus 9% fruit beer. I'm going to elaborate.
That the base beer is around 8.1%. Kind of slightly sweet, malty, but kind of fruity from the yeast that we use, and then infused it with a few pounds of fruit. Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries. So it's just above 9%, but we'll have that on for our anniversaries.
High octane fruit bomb.
Yeah.
And so none of those are huge as far as flavors in beer. So did you guys just use tons of them to get in there?
It ended up
The
being,
fruit? Oh, there's a lot of fruit.
yeah. It was,
Yeah.
That's the thing with the fruit. Like you have to use a lot.
Yeah.
It was a big mess that day, but
He brought a blender from home, and it got all over the wall. And yeah,
it was kind of a disaster, but they're tasting pretty good right now.
we also bought a bunch of peaches. We have a bunch of Missouri peaches that we have vacuum sealed and frozen.
And peaches are another one that you got to use just
a lot of
loads of to get any flavor from.
Yeah. So right now we're doing a lot of stuff on a smaller scale just because of the expense that it takes to make stuff. And that maybe we can't justify ordering, 1,000 pounds worth of peaches.
Yeah.
Like, maybe just 100. And
So have you tried a peach nectarine blend?
no, not yet.
Because the nectarine will give you a little bit more flavor for the bang for the buck.
That's actually something definitely looking to do.
That's what I've done in the past, was do a combination of the two.
Yeah, it's just like sourcing the fruits. Like, holy cow. We talk about the price points of the beer. It's like, well, hopefully the consumer realizes, okay, yeah, maybe this 12-ounce beer costs $8, but the amount of labor and the cost that goes into it is pretty relevant. It's not that we're just trying to gouge
And I think people are a little smarter these days than what they used to be about it, and I think people realize, and especially, again, with social media, if you go out and say, hey, we just put like 500 pounds of fruit in this container, think how much money that costs. If you go to the store and buy a pound of fruit, now multiply that times 500 and think of what we just did.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous. So, I mean, same thing with hoppy beers. Like, obviously a double IPA is going to cost more than a regular IPA.
Absolutely.
I don't know, like, we're just really excited about beer. And we have lots of things we want to do. I guess when we're now, like, we're almost 1 year old. We're trying to get into the groove of like what we need to do at certain times of the year. So like already we're thinking about the fall and even like Christmas time and the beginning of 2017, like what we need to do by certain points.
As a consumer, I feel really surprised you guys are only a year old. You feel like you've been around for 2 or 3 years the way you've been going about your stuff. So that's pretty cool.
It's just kind of
really excited about that.
The collective experience that all of the employees have had. Like we sync pretty well together. We're in sync. Yeah, and like we just
take that, Backstreet Boys. They're in sync.
What was the other one? Is it 90?
98
degrees?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Throwback.
We know our boy bands.
Yeah.
Boy bands rock.
Oh yeah, that's another fun thing we talk about. Collabs. If you're a brewery that can do a collab with a band, like Three Floyds does like collabs with metal bands all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like we wish we could do that.
Now like Stone, they do Will Wheaton. I mean,
Star Wars guy.
Yeah, Star Wars guy. That is one of the best stouts I've ever had. I haven't had this year's yet. I bought one, but I haven't had it yet. Last year's was phenomenal.
Omagong already took it, but it'd be great to get the entire cast of like Game of Thrones here.
Oh yeah, but those beers have been terrible so far. I don't know if you guys have had them. I've had two.
I'm a fan of Omagong. Like Hennepin is like one of the best like American style, saisons that's out there.
Yep.
But definitely they probably looked at it as like, oh, this is sort of a gimmick that we can.
Gimmick, yeah. I can't
do
say.
it like we love gimmicks ourselves.
The two that I had were just awful. I just wanted my money back. They were terrible. But
I love and hate Game of Thrones.
I love the show. I love the books.
Drinking games.
Are
aggressive.
Not good.
So like my girlfriend's really into it, and we have other friends that basically everybody's into it. And if we all get together, there's aggressive drinking games that go with it, and it's just the worst because it's like, guys, it's Sunday, we got to work tomorrow. Can we not do this now?
So we used to do that to The Simpsons.
Oh boy,
that was pretty rough. But
dope.
Or Austin Powers, we had a good one to that. Game of Thrones, every time somebody dies, you all can be drunk by the end of the episode.
Family motto, anytime somebody dies. I forget all of the rules, but...
Well, I think I'll let you guys off the hook as far as the podcast goes. I really want to thank you for being on. Again, August 20th is our anniversary special, so everybody come on up to Decorah. Check out Pulpit Rock. They're going to have some ridiculous beers on tap. You better not drink them all so I can get some the following Thursday or Friday when I'm off, so I can come up here and grab a few. So, but it sounds like a great weekend.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
I'm sorry I'm going to miss it because, but Weird Al kind of, I'm sorry guys.
I would go to Weird Al.
I've been listening to Weird Al for over 30 years, and Dare to Be Stupid is my first album. I have it on cassette. It's actually literally worn out. You cannot run it on anything, but I still have it, and I'm hoping he'll sign it when I go there.
That's awesome. Amish Paradise.
We're listening to that right now. My 10-year-old son is just obsessed with that, so we're listening to Amish Paradise and white nerdy and all those good stuff.
I'm white and nerdy.
Yep. So a good time. But everybody come up to Decorah, August 20th, or anytime. You don't need an excuse. Check out Pulpit Rock. They got pour over porter coming up soon. About a week or so, you said?
Next week.
That is worth the drive right there. And they keep
IPAs.
promising Loopy Lynn, and that is absolutely worth the trip. And I know I'm not saying it right, Safgig.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, that's great. Guys, come on up. Decorah, Pulpit Rock, check these guys out. They're
Thanks
great.
for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. Everybody,
Cheers.
cheers. All right. Thank you.